Good morning. My hair is kind of a mess, but we're going to do this anyway. It's Lyrics to Go. I'm Daniel Maté. Welcome to the show. This is part 3 of my conversation with Stephen Jenkinson about Leonard Cohen. In parts 1 and 2, we looked at a couple of other songs by him, The Future and Alexandra Leaving. In part 4, which is coming next, I play a couple of songs for Stephen that he hadn't heard by Lou Reed and Jacques Brel and get his real-time reactions. Here in part 3, we discuss the song Anthem, which contains what Stephen refers to, I think, aptly as the ultimate Leonard Cohen fridge magnet quote. But we go beyond that quote and talk about the lyric as a whole and just what makes it so anthemic and magnificent. There is also a bonus episode where I discuss in a more freewheeling way with Stephen what it is about Leonard Cohen that makes him so special as an artist, a songwriter, a lyricist, a Canadian, and why Stephen has named Leonard Cohen the unofficial patron saint of his Orphan Wisdom School, which he runs on his farm in Ontario. It's a fantastic conversation. It's quite extensive. There was no room for it in any of the main episodes. So it's for Patreon subscribers only. And if you want to become one of those lucky, beautiful people, head on over to patreon.com/lyrics2go, sign up at the $5 level or above per month, and you'll get all kinds of perks like all my bonus episodes, everything I've ever put out, everything I ever will put out, custom playlists for nearly every episode. Also, a new perk I'm offering is unlimited playback of the archives of all of my live streams. If you want to watch live streams live, anyone can do that. I do them on Monday nights. But as far as rewatching them, or if you missed it the first time around, that's going to be for Patreon subscribers only. I will be putting out clips to the public, but the whole thing, which are usually somewhere between 2 and 4 hours of amazing lyrical commentary and listening to songs and stopping them and talking about them, often with amazing special guests. That's for my subscribers. So, like I said, patreon.com/lyrics2go is the place to get all of that extra bonus content and to feel good about yourself because you're supporting the channel. You're helping to create a world where no one ever has to say, oh, I don't really listen to the words. Okay, that's it for me. Enjoy part 3 of my conversation with Stephen Jenkinson. Very briefly, because I want to play you some songs.
Okay.
I want to talk about the most quoted line by Cohen. Now, not the most covered song, that would be Hallelujah, which I'm sick to death of. If I never hear another version of Hallelujah. Oh, actually, it's so funny. The 2 most overcovered songs that I will be so happy if I never hear again. One is Hallelujah. The other one's Joni Mitchell's River. I'm just, which around Christmas everyone covers. Although I think Jeff Buckley's cover of Hallelujah stands as the pinnacle. No one needs to touch it again.
And I've seen your flag on the marble arch, and love is not some victory march. It's a cold and it's a broken hallelujah. 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 Hallelujah.
But Anthem contains the lyric, and you know which one I mean.
I do.
That is quoted over and over again. And here's another. You talked about waltzing to war. Cohen has a lot of waltzes.
Yes.
A lot of these. I mean, you could say this is in 3/4, maybe it's in 6/8, but it has a 3 feel, And there's so many lyrics we could talk about here, but obviously it's the chorus. Ring the bells that still can ring. Forget your perfect offering. There is a crack in everything.
Don't say it.
Yeah.
Don't say it.
Let's not add another one to the pile.
Right.
But yeah, what gets less attention would be the verses where he talks about, the holy dove, the wars will be fought again, the dove will be caught again, bought and sold and bought again.
The war, they will be fought again. The holy dove, she will be caught again. Bought and sold and bought again.
that's, again, another aspect of rhyming that I appreciate so much about Leonard Cohen is what I call rhyme rollout, which is what order do you rhyme your words in? The wars, they will be fought again. Well, that's the most straight ahead statement of the bunch. The holy dove, she will be caught again, bought and sold and bought again, keeping the dove being the subject or the object of the sentence, repeating the word bought. It's masterful. But the dove is never free.
Never free.
The widowhood of every government signs for all to see. The killers in high places say their prayers out loud. They've summoned up a thundercloud. They're going to hear from me.
Right.
And every heart to love will come, but like a refugee. And you notice that the end of every, what I'm going to call the A section, ends with the sound E.
Yeah.
Going to hear from me, and they're far apart from each other. Refugee, me, signs for all to see. The dove is never free. What is yet to be? The ear doesn't consciously catch that, but it's really smart songwriting. But anything you want to say about Anthem, to shed further light on it for those of us who love it, and to introduce it to those who don't even know it.
Yeah, I didn't choose it for that the Hallelujah chorus there at all.
People usually trot that out in a sort of like cheer up. It's so it's like they hear it as a silver lining.
Yeah. Sadly, I don't know how he was about it all, but I would guess he might have winced from time to time as it became closer and closer to a slogan in the mouths of others. Right, and certainly it's become the ultimate fridge magnet, Cohen available thing. If you're lost for a phrase and you're on a first date, drop that shit. Well, the reason I suggested that we might have a once over lightly on the song, of course, was not this chorus. It was this part. The sheer willingness to stand there and make this declaration is to me compelling beyond reason. I can't run no more with this lawless crowd, while killers in high places say their prayers out loud. They've summoned, and he says it again, they've summoned up a thundercloud, and they're going to hear from me. And when you say it with that voice, the one that he could use, well, that'll do for a thundercloud, right? So it's just, there's something achingly proper in the 90s and the thousands and so on, and the teens, to say, look, I could, but I can't. See, I could fake it. I could tread water. I could take the money and run. I could be good enough. There's a lot of things that could happen. I could have a girlfriend in every place. I could, everything's possible for me now. But I can't run no more is a confession, and it's a collapse, and there's no braggadociousness about it. While killers in high places say their prayers out loud, every time you open the news, some version of that line is there for you, right? Yeah. So what's happened? He doesn't say he said, they've summoned up a thundercloud. Okay? My towering anger on the matter is not a consequence of my own personality.
Yes.
Is what they've wrought in me. And then that great promise, they're going to hear from me. I love that, man. And, I often said it. I got fired very unceremoniously back in the old days, which I'm not at liberty to discuss, even now. And that line came to me when I was going through the kangaroo court adjudication process, when I was being examined and re-examined and then unexamined finally and left for dead by the side of the road. That line was, it was accurate, and it told me, look, there's more than one way to wither, right? And one of them is to see to it that they hear from you, not in retribution, but that you still have a voice. And Die Wise happened maybe 4 years later. So I suppose that's what it was. And it's twinned with the verse from the other song that you opened with, which was, they sentenced me to 20 years of boredom for trying to change the system from within. Shit, that was true. But I'm coming now. I'm coming to reward them. Yeah, first we take Manhattan. That's right.
Again, another really careful rhyme. Boredom. It's a trick. That's a trick rhyme. That would be welcome in a Sondheim lyric. And yeah, I see the parallel. Just a couple of things I just noticed about this Anthem lyric. There's a lot of repetition. There's a crack, bought and sold and bought again. They've summoned up every heart. He's in no rush. He doesn't need to fill the space with new thoughts. He'll dwell, not just on this spot, but on every thought. And I love this. You can add up the parts, but you won't have the sum. You can strike up the march. There is no drum. I'm just free associating here. It reminds me of a Tom Waits song called Big in Japan, which is kind of a joke, but he says, I got the bread, but not the butter. I got the window, but not the shutter.
Got the style, not the grace. Got the clothes, not the face. Got the bread, but not the butter. Got the window, but not the shutter.
I'm big in Japan.
But I'm big in Japan. Yeah. One of the songs I was going to play for you, but sounds like you might already know it, was the last song on that same album, Mule Variations, Come On Up to the House, which now when I hear it makes me think of you.
It's a great song.
Isn't it great?
Yeah.
Come down off the cross, we can use the wood.
Oh, you're crying, don't do no good. Come on up to the house. Come down off the cross, we can use the wood. You gotta come on up to the house.
You use the wood, man.
Yeah.
Yep.
But if you've heard it, then we don't need to get into it, because I'd like to create an opportunity to surprise you and get a spontaneous response. Okay. But sure. Yeah, Tom Waits, how do you feel about him? He's a bit more performative. He's a bit more of a character actor. He's much more theatrical. He wrote a fantastic musical, The Black Rider. Yeah. Are you a fan?
Yes, in a measured and moderate and temporary sort of way.
I'd say the same.
I can't let the whole CD ride, and be okay at the end. So I know my limits, but I'm willing to take Neil Young's direction when it comes to Tom Waits. When he introduced him to induct him into the Hall of Fame down there in wherever it is, Cleveland, he introduced him as he says he's a straight up shamanic practitioner.
I will say this next man is undescribable, and I'm here to describe him. He's sort of a performer, singer, actor, magician, spirit guide, changeling, and I've seen him standing in a bunch of dust, and I thought I saw, sparkly things coming off on him, and then I looked at him while he was singing, and I said, is my vision going? I'm seeing 3, maybe 4 people up there now.
Yeah.
I said, all right, if Neil's persuaded, then I'll go with that, and from what little I know of shamanic practice, it doesn't make you a good neighbor.
What's he building in there?
Exactly. What's he building in there? Exactly.
We asked for signs, and the signs were sent. The birth delayed, the marriage spent, the widowhood of every government. Those were the signs for all to see. I can't run no more, with that lawless crowd, while the killers in high places say their prayers out loud. Ah, but they have summoned up a thundercloud, and they're gonna hear from me. They're gonna hear from me. Ring the bell that still can ring. Forget your perfect offering. There is a crack in everything. That's how the light gets in. You can add up the parts, you won't have the sum. You can strike up the march on your little broken drum. Every heart to love will come, but like a refugee, ring the bell that still can ring.